The monstrosities of the world.
Hey there, hi there. Let's go there. It is last week in wrestling. I'm the Notorious ATB. I'm sharing this out on the socials. You should do that too, because the more eyes we have on here, the better. Because the more eyes means more people to discuss pro wrestling with us, and that's what we're here for. We're here to discuss wrestling, but we're not going to shut up and enjoy it. No, we're going to do some bitching, just like we always do. The good folks at Facebook, you know what? Facebook, I'm sure, is going to take down the stream at some point because they don't like me anymore. That's became evident. So share out this beautiful YouTube stream with all of your friends. Okay. Sorry. You'd think I would have a producer or something, but we only have those for the big lives where we've got friends. Otherwise, it's all me all the time, talking about wrestling, inviting people to talk about wrestling, inviting people to tell me their opinions on wrestling and what they liked, what they didn't from the week. So, with wrestling this past week, I want to get one thing out of the way. Um, I couldn't bring myself to watch the NWA again. I don't understand how it has a deal with Tubi. What's going on, CZ, my good man? What are you doing? Did you slip out of work early to come watch me? Is that what it? I get it, because now you get to hear me talk about how Ring of Honor is head and shoulders better than whatever this version of the NWA is. Not to say that the NWA doesn't have a couple of talented people, but as a whole, that show is fucking horrible. So I decided, let's try out ROH. Honor Club is available on my AEW. I have it. So, you know what? Let's just go ahead and turn on some ROH. I had a visit from a former friend, co-host person that I might know last week, and he came over, watched it, and let's just say it started off with two guys that we agree 100% should have been on the ROH or on the AEW roster by now, the Grizzled Young Veterans, because these two guys are so fucking good. Granted, they lost here to the Bang Bang Gang, which is, we're building up the Bang Bang Gang. Those are main roster guys. Juice Robinson and Ace Austin here. They defeat the Grizzled Young Veterans in a really fun match. I think GYV should be on the main roster. They should have already had a tag team title reign. Personally, I would rather see GYV and the Bucks than FTR and the Bucks again. But that's just me. That's my 10 cents, because my 2 cents is free. Next up, we had a 6-man tag, which was Skyflight. That's Scorpio Sky and Dante and Darius Martin, who apparently have also aligned with Matt Sydal and AR Fox because they're on Collision. And there was somebody else in that match. We'll get there. But anyways, Skyflight picks up the win here over the Frat House. Well, I don't see the point in Jack Jameson. Maybe he does something backstage. Maybe he's a beneficial member of the roster in that way. But as far as on my television, Frat House does fuck all for me. I don't care. I don't enjoy seeing these guys come out here and pretend to drink. We need something different. And I will always look at Griff Garrison and think, oh, it's Jungle Boy, thanks to the late, great Brody Lee. Because who the fuck is Griff Garrison? Next, we have Royce Isaacs, who I saw online being referred to as the wrestling Jason Statham, and I can't get that out of my head now. He takes the L to Bishop Khan, who's making his solo debut, apparently. That's what I read online. that was a surprise, I guess, maybe in this iteration of ROH or part of the demand. And he said, I saw him mentioning that the little face thing that he does, this, is because all you need to see are his eyes. He won another fun match. Look at that, 2 fun matches. The 6-man tag did nothing for me. Very skippable. Kind of the lull here, we have Mina Shirakawa and Queen Aminata winning a tag team match against 2 women that I missed the name of. I think one of Casey and Sahara. Yeah. Forgettable match. It was a throwaway match to build a new tag team for the women's division, probably for the AEW main roster, more so than for the ROH women's roster. But we have the Lethal Twist taking on the Colognes and Serpentico in what I originally thought was just a main event because I thought that it was a shorter show, but this ends up being a mid-card match. We have Lethal Twist picking up the win here. The Colognes have become very good developmental hands, and I think that's important for ROH because this has helped getting these guys ready to be on national television. That's their job here. We're training Christian and Lee Johnson to get ready for these television. Know where the camera is. Know how to work. Pace yourself more for TV. These are important hands to have. Serpentico, I think that he would be on the main roster if he was a little bit bigger, but he's not. He's a very small individual. Reminds me a lot of a Blitzkrieg from WCW. And unfortunately, that's not that great in today's era. So he's used as a good hand. There's no shame in that. He's getting paid better than I am, I'm sure. So Serpentico and the Colognes, they take the L as a job squad to the Lethal Twist. Jay Lethal, Blake Christian, and Big Shotty Lee Johnson here. Then I want to talk about my favorite match last, but Mance Warner and Matt Menard may be my favorite thing from the past week in wrestling. It's definitely up there. That Pure Rules match was brilliant, but we also had Ela Dawn defeating Kelsey Reagan and Satnam Singh picking up a win over Hamilton. The Rascals and the Von Erichs won an 8-man tag, and Bandito retained his title against Brian Keith. But for me, Mance Warner not really understanding how Pure Rules work, and he grabs a chair, but he can't use it, so he sits on it, and then he dives on people. I really thought that was a neat way for them to introduce Mance to the ROH fan base, with him not sure how to handle Pure Rules wrestling. So Mance Warner picks up the win here. They end up going through all of their rope breaks almost immediately. I'm really excited to see Mance and Lee Moriarty down the road because I think Mance may be the man to make the Pure Rules matches even more entertaining. Like he will make it what the hardcore end of it, what Nigel McGuinness did for the technical end of it, I feel like. And that's going to be a blast to see when Mance Warner continues this run through ROH and takes home the Pure Wrestling title. I'm going to love it, and I look forward to seeing more of it. I look forward to covering more of it right here because ROH is definitely better than the NWA. I said it. Now, let's talk about AEW Beach Break. First off, I got confused and wanted to call it spring break, but it's summer. We got too many beachy names here. We just need to pick a lane. But as far as the actual wrestling goes, Tommaso Ciampa and Chris Jericho, or excuse me, just Jericho. We've lost the Chris somewhere along the line. Tommaso Ciampa and Chris Jericho, we get a good street fight here, essentially. We're brawling all the way up into the sand. Jericho takes the L by pinfall. I wonder where we go from here, who the next person to take on Chris Jericho is. It was a really fun rivalry. I honestly kind of hope that we just let that be the end of it. And maybe Jericho will go into somebody else, and that's his role now for a while at least. Let him be helping to get let him be a helper to get the new talent over. Oh, greetings, Crystal Bird over in our Twitch community. Y'all can follow us on Twitch. Facebook ain't got to us yet. They will when we get to MLW and JCW, because I did go ahead and make some more shorts for those of you who might not have caught them. Next up, we've got Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita. I'm surprised. Well, everybody was surprised, but when you look into it, it's not that big of a surprise that Takeshita lost his international title here. Kyle Fletcher has the belt, which is nice to see because this was Okada's belt when Fletcher went away. So there's some storytelling to be done. Takeshita's going to head over to Japan. He's participating in, is it the G1 that's getting ready to go on? I don't remember. Sorry. Next, we have the Workhorsemen against, that's Anthony Henry and JD Drake against Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay. And I washed dishes as this match was getting ready to start, and I told my wife how this was going to go. I said it'll go about 10 minutes, be a good back and forth match, and then Moxley and Ospreay will end up winning in a dominant fashion. Because Anthony Henry and JD Drake are fucking talented. So they got put in here to help get Mox and Ospreay to show that these two men have managed to become a cohesive unit. And I would have liked to have seen Henry and Drake pick up a win because they need wins. Let's get them and the Grizzled Young Veterans in a damn match, see who's the real job squad. Because these guys are great too. Ospreay and Moxley, they take the W, of course, because we're building to Ospreay and Omega at All In. Maybe Moxley will try and take the belt at Redemption from Omega. Maybe that's the storyline we go. We have a 8-woman casino gauntlet match to determine the new number one contender to Thekla. I called her fucking Thekla. Tekla. There's an H in there, but you don't pronounce it. Willow Nightingale, she defeats Athena, Maya World, Sky Blue, Mina Shirakawa, Julia Hart, and Thunder Rosa. So I imagine she's going to be taking on Mercedes Moné at All In. That's where we're going to have the blow off to all of that build. And it's interesting because Willow got her New Japan title because of an injury to Mercedes years ago. There's history with them in the TBS title in AEW. So I'm enjoying the build. And then the main event of AEW, both AEW shows had stellar main events that completely make you forget about what happened in that other company. Because you had MJF lose the title here to Kenny Omega. Ospreay tried to stop him from cheating, and the cheating didn't even manage to help MJF win. Omega still kicked out. Omega is going right now. He's scheduled to go into All In against Ospreay. Maybe we'll have something different for the Redemption main event. I assume we're going to have another match. I know on Collision we had the return of Hangman Page. So he's already declaring he's going to go for titles, and he's in it to get something new because he can't go for the world title, which is fair. We are accepting that he lost that match, and Hangman Page is going to be a man of his word for right now. But maybe he'll turn heel in a few weeks, or a few months maybe, and we'll have more with Hangman Page and Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland maybe. There are a lot of avenues that we can go for Hangman Page with the AEW picture because we've got so many titles. And that was my immediate reaction to him coming out, was he should just say, well, it's a damn good thing we got a ton of other belts to win here. Now, to the actual card, if you've not seen Mark Davis and Mike Bailey from the main event for the AEW National Championship, you're missing out. Davis delivers some nasty pile drivers to Bailey, and Bailey sells them like $1,000,000. Davis retained the belt. But let's go ahead and get into the opener. I just had to, that was actually the first thing that I saw anybody talking about online, because I, like everybody else, tuned in to watch Conor McGregor bust his ass when I should have been watching Collision or MLW or rewatching JCW or even rewatching ROH, because Conor McGregor just fucked everybody out of a ton of money. Now, on to Collision. Collision opened up with Bandito and Shibata. To think that you're getting that on free television nowadays, when I would have drove 4 hours for that kind of match 10 years ago, it's amazing to see. And I really think that people need to stop complaining about AEW and their match lengths or all the stars they have, because these guys are getting paid. Why are you complaining? Just, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. There's other wrestling to watch. Next up, we get Hikaru Shida and Harley Cameron. Shida picks up the win. Not a surprise here. We're going to start building Shida with some wins. She's going to reestablish that belt, and I'm excited to see it. Commander, that was the fourth person, with Top Flight and AR Fox, to take on the Death Riders. Moxley and Claudio and Wheeler and Garcia, they, of course, pick up the win against Commander, AR Fox. Fox takes the L here. They all just kind of destroy him at the end. It was a very fun match. I hope that we continue to build AR Fox. I hope that he gets to make All In some sort of way that matters this year. Brian Cage destroys a Rascal, and then Darby Allin destroys a Callis family member. I guess that's how we're going to trade things around for a few weeks with the conglomeration and the Callis family. That's how we're going to build things. Like I said earlier, though, Mark Davis gets a big win over Mike Bailey. Bailey just keeps falling further and further down while his partner keeps going up. We're going sky high for Kevin Knight. That's the one you look up to. Right there you go. The big boot from Kenny Omega to MJF. It was really cool the way they did the table spot, but I love AEW and everything that they've been putting on. Their product is never a disappointment. Now, another company that I have found to really just not be a disappointment at all is MLW. I also understand, however, that not everybody probably catches MLW. So maybe we need to help everybody out here and give you a brief MLW recap.
Cheer and Teton on! Double stomp! No! Took too much time! Oh, but Teton fires back. What a way!
Magnus has a hold of him.
Oh, power! What a way to kick off Fusion! Oso here tonight. Teton! There you see the strut combo! The heel kick connects and rolls over his opponent. That upper body strength. The name was Teton. Challenge as it comes, and she's able to compartmentalize herself and focus on the task at hand. And that task is Kira hitting a huge
Floor where they landed, Joe.
likes to go 450, but Shotzi able to regain her bearings. To the back of the head, standing Enziguri. Don't teach marching orders of Contra, but whoever it is, I guarantee they're not impressed by LeBron. They could give a damn less about the hype. They want results. But LeBron, you see, response.
Generation, one of the best tacticians of all time.
Kananga just brought it through. He'll fight anybody. He'll fight anything. But I don't know anything about this Kananga to even speculate on what the strategy should be.
Anything is right, because that's exactly what Kananga is. That is not a human being in there, or at least not one that I'm used to seeing.
Oh, just caught Anderson. And Kananga is just overwhelming him. And now Gallo. Oh! Kruger, and took his attention away from this beast.
And now grabbing him by the throat.
Oh!
missing, but Cruel still holding on.
Cruel never let go.
What the referee?
And sidewalk slam.
There you have it. Kamanga, whatever they're calling him, Umanga. But this new monster that Contra seems to have really dominating that main event, destroying the Good Brothers and Cruel. I really like this Contra and Contra Merc storyline. I know it's not for everybody, but I'm enjoying that. Okamura against wow, I can't remember his name. The new guy that they've got from Atlanta. But to see Okamura take the L, we're definitely building up. Wow, I just drew a blank. I hate that. But anyways, Magnum and Titan, yeah, Titan is how they pronounce it. Had a really fun opening match for MLW this week. Bishop and Dijak acknowledge that they are still the Skyscrapers. They're not calling themselves the new anything. So I like that we're just refusing to acknowledge that a partner has changed. That makes it a little bit funnier to me. And as a whole, I think that MLW is definitely moving in the right direction. We've got a really fun women's match. Shotzi Blackheart here taking on a competitor from CMLL. It's a way to help establish their talent. The center stage tapings have managed to stretch MLW for a while. I think that we're getting pretty close to the end of those tapings, though. And I'm interested to see where they go next and what they do with Kamanga. What is going to be the big deal with Kamanga and Kushida and Contra Mercs? Will Shotzi show up with more people that she found in this Contra burial ground? Because remember, she said she found where they buried their dead bodies, not just the one. So maybe we have all sorts of shenanigans here. Maybe that's where Jacob Fatu comes back someday. They can work out a deal with the WWE. Now, one of the things that I was requested of is to start doing some history of wrestling moments. And of course, there's an obvious one from 30 years ago that everybody needs to think back about. It was the formation of the NWO. It changed the world. It changed wrestling. It changed everything. To see this man that had become a figurehead of what makes the world a good place, like Hulk Hogan, to see him turn on everybody. That was a shocker of a moment for fans back then. But now, let's look at some other shockers of back in time from this week in wrestling, from the last week in wrestling. Do you realize that it was 21 years ago that Matt Hardy showed up on Monday Night Raw? That Matt dove in and attacked Edge after Edge had been sleeping with Matt's fiance? Yeah, that was on this same day in 2005 when Matt had been fired by the WWE for getting into it with Edge and for speaking about it backstage. You feel old now. I mean, yeah, I was in high school when it happened. Actually, I was out of high school sitting around with Alan Hill doing nothing, just enjoying life in general on that day. Also, in this week in wrestling history, you had Goldberg winning the world title. You had the Ultimate Warrior making a stupid return, and the infamous Bash at the Beach 2000, where Jeff Jarrett laid down for Hollywood Hogan, and we would have this storyline that Vince Russo had concocted, where Hogan would show up with his real world title a few months later. It's almost like that's what they, hey, Uncle Frank, I am doing great. Frank, we need to schedule a time and a day to record with you and with me at the Hang. If you're not catching the Hang on Wednesdays at 4:20, what are you doing? take a few minutes, take at least a minute, and if you smoke them, if you got them, smoke them, and enjoy some time with the guys from the Hang, or guys and gal from the Hang. Go by and see their show. They're always talking about random wrestling matches. I used to enjoy talking about random wrestling shows too, and that's kind of why I'm wanting to get in on their show sometime. Maybe I can instill some of the greatness that is TNA from Unbreakable in 2005. But that's a September history moment to talk about. Now, there was some history made in the WWE this week, with CM Punk returning to become the WWE champion again. He strolled in, took Cody Rhodes' rematch, which I'm pretty sure that was actually not supposed to be allowed. And because of Nick Aldis, Punk has the title again. I'm waiting for Nick Aldis to realize that Gunther and Punk are in cahoots. Maybe that's where it's all going. Otherwise, I can't tell you shit that happened in the WWE this week. I know that I saw somebody had bought a Jelly Roll figure. Apparently, they make those now. Yeah, I'll get up with you, Frank. Yeah, they have a Jelly Roll WWE action figure. I don't why, but it's there. WWE. Let's just, you know what? I'm just gonna cheat. I'm gonna go to SmackDown Hotel and pull up Monday Night Raw's results right now. There's a good website for you to go to, folks. You can go check out SmackDown Hotel and you can see what boring WWE crap you missed last week. I know that we were supposed to get Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes for the world title, but Cody got attacked by Gunther backstage, and then this week's SmackDown ended with Cody walking out and the music cutting off as the credits rolled. So I guess we're going to go with, WWE doing Vince Russo cliffhangers. Russo taught y'all how to do that. Russo had a great cliffhanger this week. We'll get there. All right, we are to the most recent episode of Monday Night Raw. The Vision defeated the Street Profits to win the belts. Oh yeah, I saw that. The girl from American Alpha has turned. Yeah, don't care. Saul Ruka defeats Raquel Rodriguez to retain her belt. Rusev and Ethan Page. You've already got Chad Gable taking L's. Okay, yeah. And CM Punk defeats Sami Zayn in what was a very good match. I'll give it that. I'll go back and watch a match. But I'm not suffering through all of the WWE's bullshit. Yes, SmackDownHotel.com actually has all of the results still. SmackDown.com or SmackDown Hotel, CageMatch.com, still rolling through and able to have all of the random wrestling shite that you need in case you've forgotten what happened last week, because they don't make programming for everybody nowadays. Apparently, Finn Balor and Tama Tonga are going at it on SmackDown. That's cool. Jimmy Uso beat Royce Keys. Why? You just brought in Royce Keys and he's losing to. Are we going to have him join Solo Sikoa as like part of that family? Is that going to be what happens? I'm sorry, I don't understand why people like this product anymore. Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes ends in a no contest. I saw that stupid furry belt that Carmelo's got now. Yeah, that was a blast. I don't understand it. Jade Cargill defeats Alexa Bliss. I know we're building to Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss at some point. We have to be, right? Because that's the story. I know everybody's excited for SummerSlam to have CM Punk on night one against Cody Rhodes, but this is literally the opposite. No, the character of CM Punk has fully evolved. We have became Matthew Lillard's character from SLC Punk. He, by this point, should be realizing that he has become what he hated. He is the sellout that comes in part-time to get the big paydays, to get the championship runs. Of course, I say that, but he'll wrestle more than The Rock did. But they're going to protect him. They're going to use him sparingly because he's a star now. And what he didn't realize 12 years ago is that the reason those guys were able to be part-time is because they were bigger stars than CM Punk. And someday, if Sami Zayn can become a star, he might be a star that gets a little bit of CM Punk's shine. And that's all I've really got to say about that shit show that WWE did. By the way, MLW was a lot of fun. If you watch the WWE and not MLW, that's on you. Now, our last segment of the week, our last show to discuss, from my point of view at least, is JCW Lunacy. I watch it every week. I enjoy it every week. Now, we did have a pretty awful match this week that I got to talk about because the Green Phantom is now the Purple Phantom, is still an awful guy to watch. I don't like his matches in JCW. I understand he's apparently a deathmatch guy. Cool. Go be a deathmatch guy. His stuff in JCW, the comedy spot with Stephen Flo this week getting rolled up. Okay, it was funny the first week, the second week, but to bring him back for 4th, 5th, 6th, and then to have him lose to the Ring Rat, okay, I'm good. The Phantom experiment is over, Jake. We can just let it die.
J-Rod we've seen before, but she's so intimidating, so daunting in everything she does. Not making friends here at Saginaw either. Of course, the reigning women's champion Danny Moe, a whole host of personal issues with Barnabas the Bizarre that has unfolded in the public eye. And Sonny Kiss, a very public counter, the best press, and the right hands.
Yeah, J-Rod wasn't going to get that snake.
Oh!
Now that is crazy for an athlete of J.
Sophia, I don't think has a friend in the game in here, and she's trying to disrupt everything. Wait. To Malcolm Monroe III. In Malcolm's debut, the generational talent from a legendary family here in Michigan. But right now, it's Stephen Flo, a legend in his own mind.
I think Flo is...
This was a setup from the start.
Stephen Flo tying the boots of Phantom into a knot. Stephen Flo! Boots are tied together. He can't move. Willie back at Too Tough Tony a number of times before. And meanwhile, Tommy and JP are also no stranger to. And they really got up. Where the hell are the JWO? Uncle Vito got it right upside the face. Oh, Ruffo is incensed. And there's some street justice from the old neighborhood.
Yes, this is the do-over. Sort of.
What is the Ring Rat doing? She's just rolling around and just having a time of her life. Oh, wait a minute. Through with a title match.
You're doing great.
Wait.
You're doing great.
He's waving you out, Caleb.
Yeah,
What is this? Oh.
I mean...
Russo wanted Bronson to take care of Bishop. I thought he meant in the match. I didn't think he meant like this.
Yeah, we didn't even get that far. Father Bronson is just serving up Joshua Bishop for Caleb Conley.
And Caleb's got that heavy custom-made world title worth $100,000. Right up.
Caleb and Joshua Bishop. Is Bishop even going to make it that far?
It's all bad.
Well, yeah, obviously we can't have a match. Bishop's hurt.
Yeah.
But, Vince Russo said that Jack Tunney rule once a month. Caleb's month.
Welcome to my family, my sweet, sweet darling.
So Barnabas has a new daughter, and it's Cocaine. Red Love tries to swerve, and didn't try. He did. We beat up Josh Bishop to close the show. So I don't like Red Love. I've not seen many fans of him on the JCW live streams or in the comments. I love Caleb. I think Caleb's a hell of a performer. I think Josh Bishop's amazing. I think he's the star of the Indies. He's everywhere right now. But I think that Josh Bishop and Caleb will be a really good match when that match happens. I think that the Backseat Boys and the JWO had a really good match this week, even if Choppa City was on commentary. That's Boof Boy's favorite tag team in the world right now. And I just feel as a whole that JCW is still a quality product, even if this week had some misses, even for me personally. I really liked the Backseat Boys match. I enjoyed J-Rod and Sonny Kiss. I thought that was a really good match. I liked Sophia Rose interfering in it. Interfering, and it makes sense to me because we've made this friendship back up. I think that JCW, this was a very filler episode. It happens. I really am glad that we've proven that Vito is not the father and that Barnabas and the Outbreak aren't the father, because it would have been weird if she had been banging the zombies this whole time and she'd gotten pregnant by them. I didn't know that semen stayed active in zombies, but I guess that was a concern of the doctor. You know, we're taking the guys in groups of 3. Are they coming through in groups of 3 because they've slept with her in groups of 3? Is that the trick of Jasmine St. Clair? Is that how everybody's getting around? I don't know. But that's my opinions on wrestling from the last week. If you've enjoyed it or you've got your opinions, feel free to drop them below. I'm going to make sure to give some love to our good friends, the sponsors at Stover's Liquidation. And you feel free to keep watching. Because our good friends at Stover's are open from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. They're closed on Sundays. They're available 24 hours online at www.stovers.com, stoversliquidation.com. You can go by and see them at 481 Tulsa Road in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, or at 452 West Broad Street in Cookeville, Tennessee. They are open from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. They're closed on Sundays. Go by and see them. Tell them the Till 5 sent you. Aside for Crystal Bird's comment on, I'm assuming that it was about Ring Rat, where she was saying that it was gross, unless she's just not a Red Love fan and he didn't like the bare feet. Could be. I don't know. Some people don't like feet. But what was your favorite moments in wrestling history? Do you have something that you like from July in your wrestling history? For me, I'll always think back to Bash of the Beach. I'll always think back to Hogan's promo and the moment that shocked the world. Can't help but think back to Edge and his issues with Matt Hardy. This was also on this days where Terry Bam Bam Gordy passed away on, I think it was July 11th, maybe. But in the last week in wrestling, there's history all around. If you like the history stuff, let me know. We'll get more of that. If you want to keep talking about the last week and letting me know your views, feel free to chime in the comments below. Otherwise, I'm ATB. It's been another week. Maybe next week WWE will actually have something worth watching. I don't know. But if you're sitting around on a Monday night looking for something to enjoy, I hear that NAW, that's Nearly Wrestling, they're going to have Now or Never on live streaming on Twitch with Violent J and Vito. So maybe I need to call in and be notorious about that. If you're a fan of professional wrestling, be sure to check out My Friend's Card Subject to Change and the Joe Monroe Show. Joe's back doing shows again. Pretty sure he's doing maybe an Elvis Jerry Lawler episode this week. I don't know. Card Subject to Change. They've got your weekly independent interviews every Sunday on their channel. If you just want to watch somebody stream some video games, be sure to check out JR Butcher, where he's always streaming. It seems like every night, but he's got his Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto running through with Boof Boy, and Fallout, and Helldivers. So you never know what JR is going to be playing. Be sure to check him out. Be sure to check out Precious Juggalos, where Shovel's going to be painting, except for the weekends where he's apparently going to be killing stuff on DayZ. You can see more
Double D, Big Steel Man. And the card is subject to change. Watch it.
Welcome back to the show!
Welcome back to the show.
Greetings, Earthlings. I'm your friendly neighborhood juggalo, JR Butcher, and welcome back to the weird side of the internet. It's Sunday. You know what that means. That's right.
Oh, hey. Shovel, Precious Juggalos. Hey, I paint things, and I have merchandise. I have all kinds of stuff. Like this. Oh, and did I mention that I also do this?